All right, listen, they will look back at us 20 years from now, 100 years from now, and they will say, really? They had a majority of the country convinced that, in fact, the Bible and Jesus Christ stood for war, but not for poor people, not for peace, but for wars of aggression and tax cuts. Come on! How in the world did they do that? That seems impossible. But they did it. I mean, look at this. This is a perfect story about it. Ben brought it up yesterday. I just want to do it real quick because it's just a perfect lead-in. Cardinal Roger Mahony of Los Angeles, they passed this new anti-immigration law saying that the churches have to check people's papers before they give them services.
You can't get any social services without proper identification, proper paperwork.
And Cardinal Mahony's saying, I'm not going to check people's paperwork at church. If they come to church, I'm going to service them. If they're poor, I'm going to feed them. If they come for communion, I'm going to give them communion, and I'm not going to say, hey, let me see your papers before I give you communion or before I feed you because you're poor. That's ridiculous, right? So Ira Melman of the Federation of Immigration Reform says, no. Cardinal Mahony has Christianity all wrong. Get a load of this quote. I love this quote. Ira Melman of the Federation for American Immigration Reform says,
this is a great quote.
Charity is an important tenet of the Judeo-Christian faith, but there are limits.
What the hell kind of Christians are these people?
But there are limits. I mean, yes, it is an important tenet.
Who was it yesterday that was saying that giving to the poor wasn't part of the Christian tenets?
That was Tom McCluskey, the acting vice president of the Family Research Council, a Catholic, who said that the Democrats will fail when they want to sort of define themselves and not have the Republicans do it, Democratic Catholics.
This must be the new Catholic talking point. We don't care about the poor.
By the way, let's be clear. Catholic Republican talking point, because real Catholics like Cardinal Mahony say, I will feed the poor, and I don't give a damn what you think. And Melman says charity is an important tenet, but there are limits. I mean, you can't actually feed the poor if they're Mexican.
Here's Tom McCluskey. We read this yesterday. What is at the core of being Catholic is the life issue, and that's something the Pope has never strayed from. While other issues are important, such as helping the poor, the death penalty, views on war, these are things that aren't tenets of the Catholic Church.
Oh, come on! For the love of God! If you're a Christian out there, you're a Catholic out there, who do you believe? You believe that clown from the Family Research Council? You believe this guy from the immigration is us and will patrol the borders and make sure we stamp out all Mexicans? Or do you believe Cardinal Mahony and the Pope? And the Pope who says don't go to war, says feed the poor. And these guys, these Republicans posing as Christians and Catholics in America say, no, secretly, peace is not a real important tenet. Charity is not a real important tenet of the Christian faith.
Let me give you a couple quotes from Roger Mahony and then another quote from our old friend Ira Melman. Mahony says he's been critical of the Minuteman Project. He says the war on terror isn't going to be won through immigration restrictions, which I like that. I like him getting involved in the political wing of it. And then he says the whole concept of punishing people who serve immigrants is un-American. If you take this to its logical, ludicrous extreme, every single person who comes up to receive Holy Communion, you have to ask them to show papers. It becomes absurd, and the church is not about to get into that. The church is here to serve people. We're not about to become immigration agents. It just throws more gasoline on the discussion and inflames people. And to that, Ira Melman called that hysterical.
Hysterical. He wants to feed the poor before looking at their papers. The guy's hysterical.
Hysterical.
Jesus Christ. By the way, Jill, I don't want to let your comment pass without saying something. Look, Jill and I do not, and I really, in essence, Ben, but not nearly as radical as Jill and I, do not believe in religion, okay? But I want to give credit where credit is due. Here, the problem isn't religion. Cardinal Mahony's on the right side. The Catholic Church is on the right side. It's people who grotesquely misinterpret and misrepresent religion for political purposes, whether this is this immigration reform group or it's the Family Research Council. Family Research Council pretends to be in favor of religion, but is exactly diametrically opposed to what Christianity says over and over and over.